Broncos country, there is a new receiver name, a big name, in my opinion, that is seeking a new contract or a trade. And is he somebody that the Broncos could potentially look at trading for, given that they might have a little bit of a contract situation with one of their own wide receivers in Courtland Sutton? We're going to break this down. I'm actually really excited about this, even though I think that there's a very low chance that anything of significance as it pertains to the Denver Broncos happens. But let's go ahead and dive in, see what the hell we can talk about. So, guys, listen. All right, let me tell y'all something. The guy that I'm about to talk about is I think, one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. He's one of my favorite wide receivers in the NFL. I'm a big, big, big fan of his. And I just think he's awesome in every way. And that is no other than the boy Jawan Jennings from the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I'm going to pull up the report here because I think it is really interesting, given per ESPN. Put us up here. You'd think we'd get this figured out by now, but we don't. So the 49ers is Jawan Jennings. He wants a new deal or a trade. Now, if I remember, he did sign a new deal with them last year. I think it was like a 2-year, $15 million deal or something like that. But he balled out. He balled out last year in Brandon Ayuk's absence. Just a really overall good player. He's scheduled to make $7.5 million in the final year of his deal. He wants a new contract or a trade, as somebody told ESPN, whatever it might be. So anyways, this is going to be a situation that's going to be really interesting because the 49ers are kind of in cap hell a little bit. But they had a lot of money tied up in Brandon Ayuk, and then he tore his ACL. They gave Brock Purdy all the money. They had to let Deebo Samuel go. Are they going to pay Jawan Jennings big money, the money that he wants? Maybe they have a little bit of cold feet, right, after what happened last season, after they paid Brandon Ayuk. So it's going to be interesting to see what it is that happens. But let me tell you guys something about Jawan Jennings. He's somebody that, in my opinion, is not only unbelievably underrated, but he's like the ideal Sean Payton wide receiver in many different ways. First of all, he's still only 28 years old, just turned 28, which is good. 6'3", 212. He's got plenty of good size and weight, but he's a very strong receiver, man. He's somebody that just plays very much strong. When you look at some of the overall, there's a couple of different numbers I wanted to show with you, but let's go into the receiving here. You also will notice, super productive last year, 77 catches, 975 yards, 6 touchdowns. So super solid when he finally got more of an opportunity with all the injuries that they had. 4 drops at a 4.9% drop rate. In fact, over the last few years, he's had very, very reliable hands, contested catch rate above 62%, which is incredibly impressive. And just solid PFF grades across the board. But really where Jawan Jennings absolutely shines is going to be in his run blocking and in his pass blocking. And you can see he's done it a lot. 230 pass blocking snaps with a 73.8 grade. Absolute menace when it comes to blocking. And he even had a little bit of pass blocking reps as well. But as a run blocker and what it is that he can do, man, oh man, would he be fun to have in this system. Just an overall really solid player. I think he's an ascending guy. I think he's always been one of those players that's really good. That was, solid as a 7th round pick, back in 2020. He was always showing flashes, and then he finally got his opportunity last year to really get a lot more playing time, and he balled out. And he got a bigger contract than I originally thought he was going to get from San Fran at 2 years, $15 million, just because he really was a guy that didn't play a whole bunch, but when he did, I always felt like he was making plays. Last year, man, did he ever shine? And he wants a pay raise. He should ask for it. It's definitely his right. And I think that the Broncos should sniff around. They should see, okay, we know the kind of relationships that our front office has with the front office in San Francisco, right? John Lynch, there's some ties there, not just with him as a player, but the Broncos and the Niners have done several deals, a lot of different types of deals. And they've got that going for them. And, who knows what the situation with Courtland Sutton is right now. I still do believe that there's going to be a deal that's done. I think it's going to happen before training camp because I think deadlines always spur action. But, man, pick up the phones and see what they're looking for. Maybe they can come up with something that makes a little bit more sense. Now, granted, I get it. Courtland Sutton, if he was traded to the Niners in this hypothetical situation, would still want a contract extension. But with Courtland Sutton, they might have a little bit more flexibility because they could actually lower the cap pretty significantly this upcoming season by rolling some of the non-guaranteed, right? So if they cut him, they would save $7 million, the Broncos right now. But his total cap hit is $20 million. So if they took that $7 million difference that's not guaranteed, rolled it into next year, and added a little bit more on top of it, and they got a deal done, it could be something that from a situational standpoint could actually work. And they're getting a team leader. They're getting somebody that, is not a diva at all. And that's kind of not what they've had in San Fran. They've just had a bunch of diva wide receivers, or receivers causing some sort of headache and drama for them. Like Brandon Ayuk last year as an unrestricted free agent wanting the money, not diva behavior of him, but, the holdout and all that became a distraction. Deebo Samuel, we know what happened. And then, with Jawan Jennings this year. So we're going to see. I think it's worth sniffing around. Like I said, I highly doubt that it's something that comes to fruition, but I would certainly be open to the idea of saying, hey, let's get ourselves a younger wide receiver, somebody that I think is uber talented, that I think can be extremely productive when given the opportunity, as he's proven last year, right? I mean, even last year, he wasn't a full-time player. He still missed 4 games in the middle of the season, and found a way to still finish with almost 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. And if you look at it, like, had he not missed any time, had he played the full 17 games, which obviously he didn't, but had he played the full 17 games, he would have been well over 1,300 yards for the season, and almost 10 touchdowns. So very, very productive season. Really good player. If you don't know nothing about Jawan Jennings, you're not a football fan, but go check him out. Look into him. He's a beast, man. He's somebody that you fall in love with, and especially just his demeanor, what he does, what he can add in the running game. And like I said, I think he fits Sean Payton to a T. I remember last year I made a few videos about my wish to get Jawan Jennings badly when he was an unrestricted free agent, but those hopes got shattered because San Francisco signed him up pretty quickly. But that would have been one of my dream signings from last year because I didn't think he would have been very expensive. And I think he'd have been damn good. Definitely better than Josh Reynolds was. But let me know what y'all think, man. Is this something that's interesting to you guys as we get closer and closer to camp? The Broncos rookies will report on Wednesday. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, man. Is Jawan Jennings a player we should be sniffing around for? I think so. I definitely think so. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, man. Take it easy. Until the next video. Peace.